Alrighty, hello everyone. This is Alan from MrMTG.com. It is like 7 a.m. and I am super tired, but I have to make this video about TCGPlayer, the scummiest scum on the earth, and some of the stuff they've been able to get away with is absolutely insane. So about 2 days ago, I woke up to an email from TCGPlayer advertising MKM for $129.99. MKM is Murders at Carlisle Manor, the newest MTG set coming out in a few weeks. $129.99. And I was a little bit surprised because I didn't think too much of it, but the set was selling for like 140s to 150s just a day ago, and I was like, okay, well, this seems weird. There might just be advertising a random seller or whatever. I ignored that email. I got another email, clicked on that one, and then I saw that this is actually a real advertisement of one single seller who has undercut the market, and this is MVP Sports and Games. They undercut the market, which was at and still currently, besides their listing, is at like 145 or 142, and their listing is at 129.99. I want you guys to know that MVP Sports and Games is not a store. It is not. It is a pseudo distributor, which is a branch of Insert Large Distribution Channel, which I can't talk about because we're partnered with them too. But MVP is a very long-standing extension of that. And to be honest, it's very likely a way for them to have distribution-esque policies, but with people who don't have resale license. And I know these are some large claims, but this is what every single store owner already knows, and it's what's talked about, and that people just accept it at this point. You can't whine to WotC, you can't whine to any game companies, nothing ever happens to these people, okay? So that's fine. MVP does what they're going to do. But when you do it in collaboration with TCGPlayer and notify all of our customers, everyone, about this, and intentionally devalue the product to near distribution price, I'll be honest with you, if stores sell at that price, they're netting almost nothing. After shipping, for sure, nothing. And for a set that was selling pretty healthily and at a good price, for this to happen is absolutely insane. So, what is this, and will this continue to happen? Yes, it will continue to happen. And there's so much I want to talk about. I just want to grab you by the shoulders and say, look at what the hell these people are doing. It's so fucked up. TCGPlayer is Card Shop Live. Card Shop Live was CFB. CFB was a marketplace. CFB was purchased by TCGPlayer. So now Card Shop Live is TCGPlayer. MVP, basically Insert Large Distribution Channel. These are sellers on the market, but they're not really sellers. They're not card game shops. They're not your traditional seller. They're not some guy in a basement shipping out cards. They're essentially a big business that doesn't want you to know that that's them. And so they create this profile, Card Shop Live being the one for TCGPlayer, where they can sell their own product on their own marketplace against their own sellers. MVP, same thing. The distribution channel sells to us and sells to everyone, but they have their own way of getting their product to consumers under a different name. Okay, sounds pretty shady, right? Well, this is interesting because TCGPlayer, and I only found this out because another store owner linked it to me, and I was so snarky, I just said, you know, I essentially just couldn't believe that this was possible. He linked the form to me that showed, as long as you have at least $20,000 worth of product and you're willing to, at minimum, not maximum, at minimum, cut the market price by 15%. So I believe that's lowest listing and then 15% below that. For pre-orders and for existing product, they will highlight your listing and push notify all of the customers about your listing. I don't understand. I mean, I get it. They want to push people to purchase, and they're going to be making a lot of money off of the fees that purchasers pay and off the selling fees, etc. There's no clarification on on the background of this, if the rates are negotiated, if how often this can happen to a single SKU, etc. There's no clarification, and in fact, they've never talked about this program. It is not advertised to most of their sellers. I'd imagine it's only advertised to whales. So the store owner who linked it to me, I'm sure he probably is a whale on TCGPlayer and had it for him and then was able to share it. They probably didn't want that to happen, but he did it anyway. This is insane. It is up to WotC, it is up to game companies to step in and say, this is not okay, because what it does, and I hate the argument of you should be able to charge whatever you want and your customers, if they value you, will pay it. Don't look at me and lie to me and say that you're not checking TCGPlayer. Every time you come into the store and look behind me and you're looking at these booster boxes, you're price referencing TCGPlayer. You'll pay a certain percentage above, but very often you will not pay 20, 30, 40% above TCGPlayer. So when TCGPlayer is incentivizing whales, who they are obviously just part of distribution channels or a part of the marketplace, to offload the product under all their other sellers and intentionally devalue the product weeks before the set release, I don't understand. And I did make a post in the WP owners, the small game owners group. My post wasn't approved in the Wizards of the Coast WPN owners group. Wasn't approved there. I made a post in the small, and everyone agreed. They're pissed off. There's nothing we can do. Blah blah blah. It is what it is. It is insane to me that this shady shit continues to happen, and that the 6,000 game stores that exist, or at least for Wizards, are part of the WPN, are essentially sold products at an ever increasing price. We are given PR nightmares that we have to deal with, because once they've sold the product to the distributor and the distributor hands it off to us and tries to force us and shoots all these notifications saying, if you don't order now, you're not going to get the product. If you don't order now, look, Ravnica Remastered, you can still buy that product through distribution channels. And they were telling us all, if you don't order it, you're not going to get any. Get out of here. On top of all of this, you have Chris Cox saying that they're moving towards direct-to-consumer, and you've seen that with the 100-card commander decks that they're now selling on their secret layer page, which retailers have no part of. Magic 30th, retailers had no part of. We're not gaining anything from these products that are doing wildly successful numbers, okay? I don't understand why this is the case. Why a store like mine or a store like yours, if you're a store owner, or your local store, who has 60 players inside of the store and has every seat filled and is giving out promos and doing everything we can to support the community and make them happy, and we're putting in the groundwork, right? I don't understand how we can be so neglected, how we can be so unfairly treated, and how some of these practices that the marketplaces were forced to use because there's no competition, essentially, right? How some of these practices are allowed. Undercutting your entire market, push notifying all of your customers, which is essentially all of the customers in the world for all the TCGs. Everyone uses TCGPlayer, okay? It's like saying Amazon shouldn't be regulated because they're Amazon. No. Everyone uses Amazon, so it has to be regulated. Would you agree with that? I don't know. Would you agree with that? That Amazon shouldn't be able to then spike prices or do this or do that with essentials because they're now the norm. Everyone uses Amazon. Jeff Bezos himself says because everyone uses our service, we're held to a different degree of responsibility. TCGPlayer is the exact same thing. TCGPlayer needs to be held responsible for, I can't say what I want to say because there's legal liability behind it, okay? Even if I'm being factually true, there's still legal liability behind what they can call slander or whatever. And I would wish nothing more than to enter into a public legal battle with you, TCGPlayer. You fucking suck. You're scummy, okay? You're scummy. And Card Shop Live is scummy. MVP is scummy. There's a bunch of scummy players in this arena. And a lot of store owners who have been weathered through it and who have been here for decades will say, well, this is just how it is. We just sell our packs. We sell our singles. We make our margin. And that's, we sell things besides these big TCGs. We have accessories, blah, blah, blah. This isn't something you should be okay with, and it's not okay. This is very shady. It's stuff that needs to be brought to the attention of the consumers who are buying from MVP and thinking that they're buying from a regular mom and pop shop or some seller out there. No. It's a shady network or spider web, and the way it's being done is so wrong to the retailers that make these TCGs successful. Wizards of the Coast should directly step in. And I love how TCGPlayer, the day after this, was able to show off their exclusive Magic card after just devaluing the product for Wizards. And obviously making retailers like me cut our allocation because MVP sold over 1,000 boxes. They sold pallets and pallets and pallets and pallets and pallets worth of MKM beyond everyone else because of this business decision, which obviously worked out very well for them because their margins are better than ours, okay? It's very unfair. Now, if they want to do this, there needs to be a lot more transparency. They need to publicly advertise this, and they need to let people know, hey, if you're doing this, we'll negotiate rates. Hey, if you're doing this, we'll do this, and then let's see what the public thinks, right? And I know you're going to say, once again, TCGPlayer is a private entity. It's owned by eBay, whatever. They can do whatever they want. They should not be able to do whatever they want. They are a monopoly in this space. There's only one marketplace for TCGs, and TCGPlayer has been a fairly good actor for a long time. But after seeing this, and after seeing them sell against their own sellers, and a lot of times you'll find the lowest listing is almost always Card Shop Live, which is TCGPlayer. Something has to be done. Someone has to be talked to. There needs to be hell raised. Am I wrong? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just a salty guy and I'm being very salty. It's as shady as, I mean, like Rudy, and I have no problem with Rudy, but when he was doing the stuff with Flesh and Blood, I said the same thing. I said it was pretty shady, right? Same thing with MetaZoo, the pumping and dumping of product. Now, of course, people have to make their money. That's fine. But that's completely different when you're talking about a massive marketplace like TCGPlayer, push notifying or emailing all God knows how many millions of people about this single listing and moving that much product in one day of a set that isn't coming up and screwing over their other sellers and getting rid of, you know, people who would have purchased boxes from the local game store who are now like, oh, well, I can't. This price was too good. And they're not going to be buying from us, okay? They're trying to put a lot of us out of business. So I think this is wrong. I think TCGPlayer is beyond scummy, and someone needs to have a talk with them. I think MVP has always been scummy. They continue to be scummy. They release these notes about the market and blah, blah, blah. Okay, insert distributor's name. We get it. You're behind the scenes. Dude, you guys are so, oh my God. And people hate them, right? People hate them. They've hated them for a long time. They're not nice to deal with. I've talked to those guys a while, like 3 or 4 years ago. They're not nice to deal with. They're not good actors in this space. Of course, you are just a dollar sign to them. When you come into my store, at least we'll have a chat. You'll play in my events. We'll give away free promos. We give away free commander decks, free packs, whatever. And we at least try to offer value to our community. To MVP and TCGPlayer, you're a dollar sign. Do not buy from them. Yes, you might save 10 or 20 bucks. They will not host your locals. They will not help you enjoy the game. They are bad actors in the space. When you can, do not spend money with TCGPlayer, MVP, and probably insert 5 other names there, but you know, that's for another video. Alan from MrMTG.com. Let me know what you think below. This is absolutely effing ridiculous. And nothing is going to be done. I can promise you that. But at the very least, I am going to make my voice known because this is not okay and it shouldn't be okay. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.